Welcome back from that break, and right now I'm being joined by Dr. Nwachukwu. He is the former PDP presidential aspirant last election 2023. He joins me from the United States of America. Doctor, if you can hear me, glad to have you join us on the program. It's a pleasure.
I can hear you barely. The network is terrible.
Well, from my end, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Okay, then, if you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, sure. I can hear you clearly. All right. Thank you once again. Right. First and foremost, how would you assess the current state of economy, and what do you think, in your own opinion, are the major challenges being faced by Nigeria as a nation and as under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration?
I will start with my general preamble, which is what we are fighting for, is for true democracy and freedom for all Nigerians and Africa as a whole.
Okay.
And we want a Nigeria where the various ethnic groups feel they have a stake in the country in the future. So in terms of the state of the economy, the Nigerians have been blessed with everything that God can give anybody. Like all the minerals, iron, steel, gold, diamond, and tin. God has blessed us with all foods, rice, beans, yam, cassava, potato, fish. We've been naturally blessed with all of that. But we are not doing well because of bad leadership. Bad leadership since the time of independence to now. Countries like we're at the same level with like India. And even to some extent China have gone beyond us while we're going back to the Stone Age. Leadership is the problem. There's nothing wrong with the Nigerian people, the youth. There's nothing wrong. There's no leadership that is serious and dedicated and focused to achieving the goals. That's what you have in China and India, the same thing. But our own, what you have is a country based on chop, coming and taking a slice and go. Nobody is there to build. Nothing is wrong with Nigerian people. We're endowed now, like before, more than any other country in the world. The Chinese, their land is not as fertile as Nigerians' land. They come to Nigeria to farm. And same thing with country, Japan. They don't have any natural resources. They buy everything from Nigeria. They buy the minerals, and they go back with it and build Toyota and Nissan. And they come back to Nigeria and we buy like Mumu. You know, we need to do something serious about changing our situation. We need to focus on educating our children, the youth, give them training and skill acquisition so that they can be able to fend for themselves. Any country that's depending on the federal government does this, federal government does that. Federal government does this, federal government is wasting their time. All the industries that was built by the Nigerian government is all a failure. They used to have Nigerian Airways, it's a failure. They used to have Nigerian Iron and Steel, it's still a failure. Since I was a small boy. They have Nigerian refinery, they can't even refine it. They used to have textile mill in every state in Nigeria when I was small. They have all closed. They used to have Nigerian Airways, it's a failure. They used to have Nigerian shipping, it's a failure, it's closed. They used to have, Alumaco, it's a failure. Anything they touch fails because they are depending on government to run them instead of private sector and private industry. Look, the things that are run by private sector, they will succeed. Look at Motors. They are making vehicles, all kinds of vehicles and jeeps and trucks in the Navy. Look at Peace Airline. They have the best airline in Nigeria and Africa. Nigerian Airways, they fail, try again, they will fail again. Because they have to chop. They don't have any serious people who want to build and create jobs for the future of Nigeria. You look at Dangote, it's doing well, private sector. But if Nigerian government owns this, they used to have Nigerian Peugeot in the north, it failed. They used to have Nigerian Volkswagen in Lagos, it failed. That's what I'm talking about. You need private sector investment and encouragement. I will stop now.
All right, Dr. Nwachukwu, I believe you've seen and heard and gone through the policies of this government. I mean, this government has come up with various policies, reform policies particularly. And I want to understand from your own point of view, in what ways do you think these policies, number one question I want you to answer is, can you hear me?
No, it cuts off. It cuts are good.
But then, can you hear me now?
I can hear, but it's not clear. I can hear you.
But from my end, I can hear you clearly.
All right.
Okay, so I want to
Repeat.
take the question I asked again. You've seen or you've heard, or I don't know if you've gone through the policies of this government. They've come up with several policies, which they call reform policies, to put Nigeria in good shape and in good track. But as someone who understands how the affairs of a country should run or runs, in what ways do you think these economic policies that they've come up with can impact Nigerian government and especially the youth unemployment and empowerment? Because I see you have so much love for the youth and you so much believe in the youth.
Again, it's not clear, but in terms of the economy, I have stated that the reason I'm still involved and participating is because of the youth, because we have to hand over the country to the next generation. That's all these things I'm involved in.
So you think you are of the opinion that the youth will do it better, they will run the affairs of the country better?
So we need to train the youth for free. We need to give them skill acquisition. We need to motivate them, motivate people to go into private industry. We deal with major sectors like electric power. In electric power, why do you have gas? You flare gas in the south, and then you say you don't have electricity. Gas that you're flooding, if you put it in, gives you electricity forever and ever. You have rivers. Why are you not damming the rivers? Just Kainji Dam is not enough. You need to dam Benue. You need to dam all the rivers in all the areas. Each zone should have their own electric power system. Each zone should be sufficient in terms of power. We need to stop looking at, okay, we also have coal that's not been used. Chinese use coal to power themselves in South Africa. Brazil use rivers, they dam the rivers. How come we can't use that? Why do you keep depending on Kainji Dam to power the nation? You can't develop if you don't have electricity. It makes it very hard for you to compete. You know, it's a lot of things. You know, we don't need to depend on just oil. We need to diversify our economy. We need to enter tourism. Tourism can make as much money as oil. You know, tourism, we have a lot of people in the Caribbean and the Europe and Latin America and America who forefathers came from Nigeria. They will want to come back home to visit, to know about their people. We need to open up the airports, like make Enugu Airport full international, not just one Ethiopian airline coming there. You need Port Harcourt Airport full internationalized with like 10 airlines coming. Maybe you open up Kano or Kaduna too. Lagos and Abuja full internationalized is not enough. We need to have people, like 10, 20 million people visiting every year. They will buy what we're making. They like our clothes, they like our jewelry, necklace, they like drums, they like African clothes. Our Nigerian music is the top in the world. And our movies, Nollywood is top in the world. People are watching it all over the place. We need to capitalize on that. We shouldn't be depending on oil and dividing oil money. We need to open up the economy so that everybody will benefit. That's what they need to do. Another thing is security. They don't have security in Nigeria, and a lot of people are afraid to go to the farm because they feel they will kill them. A lot of women are raped and murdered for just going to farm. Every town that in Nigeria that have chief, king, president of the town, have organized group, should be well armed to defend lives and properties in their community. It's a disgrace that people can just come and go and kill hundreds of people and walk away with it. If you properly armed all the village towns, you would not have that anymore. And people will be able to go to farm properly and produce. We need to focus on manufacturing things. We can manufacture things in Nigeria if given the proper electricity and proper security support. We could make. Why can't we make cars? We're already making cars in Nnewi. We can make refrigerators. We can make batteries. We have lead. We can make tires. We have rubber, and we have petroleum byproducts. Why can we not be the one making most of the tires in the world? We are not applying ourselves. We're just there looking for chop chop and tiff.
All right, Dr. Nwachukwu, you seem to believe so much in the youth, but again, a lot of people have argued that running the affairs of a state or a country requires knowledge. And I want you to, you also talked about privatization of manufacturing companies. I want you to elaborate more on that. And again, the impact of youth unemployment and empowerment to be able to drive these suggestions you're making. How should the government reduce unemployment and empower the youth? This administration have said over time that steps are being taken, you know, student loan has been approved and all others. But do you think that is really enough?
You have to start training the youth for free and skill acquisition. And after they acquire the skill, like in America, you verify that they have the skill, they will need the equipment to have their own shop, to have their own thing. Like I said, everybody working for the government is not going to work. It's not the solution. It's going to be private people doing things for themselves, doing hair, doing cars, doing air conditioning, doing electricity. You have to teach private people to do that. That's the only way you can get ahead. Less than 1 million Americans work for the government. Everything is private. That's the only way you can grow. But you need to help them get the skills and help them get the equipment, loan, help them get soft loan to buy the equipment so they can start. The role of the government is to collect taxes and make rules, not run anything. I already started out by telling you anything the government runs fails. It will never change. If you have Nigeria-owned airline, it will fail. It's like it failed before because the people are corrupt and they're going there to chop. They're not going there to work. They're not serious. So in terms of the youth, I'm not afraid of the youth. They have to take over one day. They have to start now.
But do you think the youth are really prepared? From all indication, does it really look like the youth are prepared?
Yeah, I'll prepare them. If I'm there, I'll bring them along as apprentices and doing different things. You have to train people. Apprenticeship. They follow you. They're working. You're giving them job. You're monitoring them. That's how they get prepared. Nobody gets prepared at age 90. You start them at age 18. They start helping. They start being apprentices. They start, in the way they train people to do things. In our place, they do apprentice. They what they call boy. That's how you become Oga. The youth are prepared. You have to put them at their level and grow them and give them assignment as you go forward.
So in your own opinion, does the lack of adequate infrastructure hinder youth empowerment in Nigeria?
In terms of infrastructure, I've said it before, we need to build railways that connects all the state capitals, not just rail going from Lagos to Abuja and Kano. That's not going to do it. You need railway connecting all the state capitals so that cows made in the north can be, with train, you can deliver them to all the state capitals in the morning. In the morning, they can put them in the train, and at night, in the morning, they're there. So nobody's having cows going through people's land and eating their cassava and maize and yam. Then you need to open up all the seaports. Just major seaport in Lagos is not going to work. You need to open up Warri Airport, seaport, very big. You need to open up Port Harcourt Seaport, very big. You need to open up Calabar Seaport, very big. Maybe open up one in Akwa Ibom. You need those things so that you can ship things out. I'm talking about making things and flooding the world with Nigerian-made goods. You need airports, like in Enugu, Port Harcourt, Kano, Kaduna, not just Abuja and Lagos. You have to open up the country so that business can come and try. So the infrastructure is poor, but the leadership is the worst. You have leadership with no vision and people with their head running the country. Nigeria is like a big calculus, mathematical calculus. You need somebody really intelligent to solve the problem. We have everything already. We don't need anything from outside. We should be the one giving African countries loan. Our young should be going across Africa, building bridges, building railroad, building that. Not just going to school. We should be the one going, helping countries. Our young people, building railroad, bridges, building 20-story building. They're there now.
Okay, Dr. Nwachukwu, I heard you say if you were there. I'm trying to understand if you meant to say if you are or if you were the president of Nigeria. That is it exactly, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But then
You
after
need
the last presidential election, we haven't seen you pay so much attention. One would again imagine or ask, do you really understand the plight of these Nigerian youths you're advocating for, or the plight of the entire Nigerian people? Because people believe is when you're close to people, when you're the nearest to the people, that's when you can only understand what they want and what their plights are.
I come to Nigeria every 3 months. I work in America for 3 months. I come every month, every 3 months. I spend 1 month in Nigeria. I know about Nigeria more than people who live there. A lot of people like you that live in Abuja don't go to your village. I come and I stay in the village for 1 month. I stay there with regular people. Everybody tells me, hungry, 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 we're hungry, we're hungry. I thought they were talking about healthcare, which I'm a doctor. They're hungry, we're hungry. They tell me we eat 010, they eat once a day. From the airport in Abuja, the custom, the immigration people, they tell me they're hungry. They only eat once a day. When I come out from the airport to the road is empty. They say there's no money to buy petrol. What do you mean that I don't know? I know more than those people there. I am a chief in the village. I'm a deputy king of Abak. I know about the regular people, what they're going through. I know they have problem for transportation. I know they have problem eating. One guy from Castina in the airport told me that only rich people can eat fufu. That fufu is only for rich people now. I said, what do you eat? He said he eats beans once a day. So I know what is there in Nigeria that I don't know. I own companies in Nigeria. I own 10 factory industries. I have big farm. I have farm that's like 4 miles wide. And I'm planting rice now. I will make cassava, we plant rice. We are planting palm trees, coconut trees. We have river, we make fish. I have my industries, I have pigs. I have piggery with 2,000 pigs in Nigeria. And the youth run all these things. I have the best bottling water in Nigeria. The youth run it. My company is run by 20 years old to 40 years old. I have poultry, young run by youth. I have piggery. I have fishery. And I have trucking business like tipper. These are all young people that I'm doing it for. It's to give them job that I'm doing it. I give scholarship to 150 people every year. I help widows. Women, their husband died, they have 6 children. I take over the children, I send them to school, secondary school, university. I do it. I've been doing it for 20 years. I help the widow like 300,000 naira or 400 to start something. Selling pepper, selling vegetables, selling tomato. I do it. Go to my place in Anambra, ask all the churches. I get all these people from the churches. They send me the poorest people they have. I provide medical care for people. I help pay for hospital bill for people who cannot, they go to the hospital, they can't come out because of this. I've been doing it for 20 years. I've been doing God's work. I was sent here to help poor people, to help people. That's why I can do it for the whole Nigeria if I have the chance to. I've been doing it with my own fund as a doctor from America. In America, I have one of the biggest medical establishments. I employ like 5,000 medical doctors, mostly Oyibo, in America. Since 1993, since I was 39 years, I've been doing it. I'm chairman CEO of Global Care Medical Group. I've been doing it from, I left Nigeria when I was 19. Things were hopeless for me. I wasn't going anywhere. I left here to go to America to start. And when I got to America, I got 10 A's in all the classes they gave me. So the people, the provost, the dean, everybody came together, talked to me. They found out my parents don't have money. My father is a retired school teacher. My mother sells clothes and akara in the street. So they took me over. They trained me. I have doctor of medicine. I have masters in business administration. I have masters in public health. They paid for all of that. So I know what it's like not to have anybody to help you. And you need somebody to help those kind of people, like I was helped when I was
So,
small.
Dr. Nwachukwu, don't you think that some will still argue that, oh, what you do more is humanitarian work, and which is quite different from running the affairs of a country? When we talk about running the affairs of a country, we talk about weighing investors, infrastructure development, and all other view. What do you think about that?
I'm more trained than all the Nigerian politicians combined. I have mastered the business
Even the
administration.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I am more trained than him. I'm more educated than him.
Oh,
100 times.
so and you think you would have managed or the affairs of this country better than he's doing?
I have mastered in public health. I run an organization of 5,000 medical doctors. That's business. And I own 10 factories in Nigeria. So none of them can compete with me in terms of qualification or experience or in terms of running things. I've come from nothing and made myself into something big. They've gone to steal from the government as governors and as a deputy president, and from the money they steal, they are running an election. That's nothing but thief. They have not used their brain like me. I have gone from nothing, from the gutter, and I became one of the top people in America. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build the biggest farm in Nigeria now and in West Africa. So let no one talk about experience and qualification, because I'm more qualified than all the Nigerian elected officials combined.
All right, yeah. Before you talk to us a few things about your party, talk to us about how Nigeria can leverage on its youth population to drive sustainable economic growth.
The only hope that Nigeria has is in the youth. All these old people are dead weight. They're just there to chop. They're just there to buy expensive jeep for the congressmen, the senators. It's the youth that can come out and set up companies. Don't you see in America, all the companies, private spaceships, they are going to moon, they are going to Mars, they are going to other planets, and they are landing. And here we're talking about amala and fufu and chop and stealing. Other people have moved on. The rest of the world is talking about artificial intelligence. And here we're just talking about steal, thief, tribe, religious bigot. What is keeping us down is nobody can see the good in other people. There's nothing wrong with other people. When a Nigerian person gets power, he puts everybody from his tribe or religion in all the positions. That's insanity. That's why we're not doing well.
Okay.
All the different groups in Nigeria have talent. All the tribes in Nigeria have talent. Not only one tribe.
Okay, let's talk about the solution to this problem, because let's not use 99% of our time and energy to talk about the problem and just use 1% to talk about the solutions. What do you think, or what do you make out of accountability, holding these leaders in positions accountable? How do you think we can achieve that? Because we literally see in a country where when even people speak up, it becomes a problem. So how do you think the Nigerian youth you are advocating for now are supposed to hold these people, these leaders, accountable? But now we literally can see that most people are even afraid to speak up, because when you speak up, you don't know what awaits you. So how do you think we can hold them accountable?
That's what we need to overcome. That's what we must overcome. Otherwise, the whole of the black race is finished. We must elect people and hold them accountable to serve our people. Like I already explained to you, we have everything it takes to be a world power. What I'm heading for is being a world power for Nigeria. I'm not talking about being a mama put country. But you need serious-minded people that seriously dedicated to making Nigeria great and wonderful. We can do it. And we can be like the first son of Africa, pulling all our other brothers along. We can do it. We need seriousness, not you sit around, somebody does not have elementary school, they don't have secondary school, they have fake degree for university, and then they're leading you. You don't have any hope. You don't have any chance. You have to do some things for yourself. You have to fight for yourself. I'm not advocating for military coup or police coup, but you have to speak up. You shouldn't be afraid. What about you talking about people being afraid of speaking up? Am I not speaking up? I'm on TV every week. All the Nigerian TV stations and radio stations, they call me here. They want to talk to me because I'm not afraid. If I'm afraid, then who's going to help the people? Who can speak up for the people? I'm not afraid for myself. I'm not afraid for my life. I'm willing to sacrifice it in order to pull our Nigerian people up. So, no, you should not be afraid.
All right, now let's talk about change. What is your party, the People Democratic Party?
The other issues, security is a big Nigeria. You should equip all the villages to be able to defend themselves.
All right.
In terms of education.
Ahead of the 2027, Dr. Nwachukwu, as a member of the PDP, what is your party doing to retain power? Because you just can't speak about or talk about complaints and complaints and complaints. Your party seems to be in a political leadership crisis. What is the way forward? What is your plans? What plans are you making ahead of 2027, which is just by the corner? Because as we can see, political parties are already making moves, and the momentum is already gathering from other political parties. Then on the part of your own party, what is being done?
You know, I ran with PDP. I'm still a member of PDP, but it doesn't stop me from changing in the future if that will help save the country. They're having him fighting. I mean, it's nothing unusual in having him, people tussling for power and having him fighting. But the problem with the party was last time we ran, instead of the power being zoned to the south, the people who already held power in the north for 8 years came back again. Like as if Southerners are not human beings. Like you run, you come back and run. What talent do they have? They don't have any education or anything serious more than anybody else. After Buhari is gone, then Atiku then wants to come. That's the problem. You know, when you eat, you want to eat. You need to share with your brothers. Be your brothers' keepers. You know, after you've taken your shine, give other people their chance to show what they can do. That's the problem. That's why the party failed the last time. And if they try it again, they will fail. They will not even win any state in the south or the middle belt.
But we've seen a lot of members of your party decamping to other various parties, most especially the APC, which is the ruling party. Are you worried about that? Does it look like there is hope for PDP in 2027?
If they want, you heard what I said, they need to zone it to the south, find credible person, not somebody's chop and steal. If they zone it to the south, have credible person run, they can win. But if they think that they can have somebody else from the north come again after Buhari is led for 8 years, they're deceiving themselves. And they have nothing to offer. That's what I'm telling you. They don't have anything to offer. They are not more educated than the South. They are more knowledgeable than people from the South. You need to let the power go to other parts of the country. Then that gives, you show people what you can do. What ideas to offer? I've already given you a lot. I'm running. I'm going to run. I'm not afraid. I'll be there.
Are you still going to run under the People Democratic Party, or you intend to move to another political party to at least give you that platform to be able to carry out what the change you think should be made in Nigeria?
I mentioned that I'm still a member of PDP.
And you are a loyalist. You are a member. You're not considering leaving the party.
No, I said if things are not proper, if they don't want to change, then I would go to another party. That's what
Which political party do you think is better off? Do you think the APC? Would you consider the APC?
I will have the options open as I see them. You know, as I will have the options open. The way political things happen, the president is there already. It will be hard for him to want to leave. You know, unless you use force to push him out. So I think it will be like another party that will challenge them. You know, we just need to offer something better to the country. We can do better. Nigeria can be a world power. All the different tribes can live together in peace and make progress. Remember, all the different religions have the same father. The Jewish religion have Abraham as their father. The Muslims have Abraham as their father. The Christians have Abraham as their father. African spirituality have Abraham as their father. So why are we fighting each other? We are related. We need to use all these people together, work as a team to make Nigeria great.
Okay, but are there ongoing plans to resolve the crisis in your party already?
They're working on it. I think there's a court ruling. There was a court ruling in terms of the secretary is the main issue. There's a court ruling. People should obey the court order. Nobody is meant to be in power forever for life. If there's party rule, you need to obey the party rule. And there's been ruling. We should respect it and move on.
All right, Doctor, you've spoken so well. But before we wrap up, I would want to get what your opinion is about the development, the recent development yesterday regarding the suspension of the River State Governor, Similayo Fubara. What do you make out of that?
Again, it's the same idea of after somebody rules, they don't want to give way for somebody else to rule. Nwike have ruled, he should get out of the way for Fubara to rule and see what he can do. It is an artificial cause problem. Nwike should get out of the way, leave Fubara to do his best. And then he will leave and somebody else comes on. So I don't support somebody who's gone and interfering, trying to tell the person who's the new governor what to do. I don't support that. So for me, Fubara should be left on to lead. He should be given support. After you do your own, you give somebody else a chance. That's my own position.
So you think Nwike is the big problem here?
That's what I think. I think he's the problem. He's the one instigating it. And it should not be tolerated and allowed.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nwachukwu. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you so much for your time and your thoughts. We really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, Dr. Nwachukwu, and we hope to speak to you some other time. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. And viewers, this is where we have to draw the curtain for the program today. Thank you so much for being with us. That is Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwe, who is speaking to us from the United States of America. This point, we'll have to call it a day until we come your way some other time. I remain Messi Emelite, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Have yourself a wonderful evening.